What if this choice has nothing to do with taste and everything to do with instinct? Not what you admire, but what your nervous system recognizes before words appear. Before you decide, notice the pause inside you. Not the pause where you compare or evaluate, but the quieter one, where attention settles without effort. Because some choices don't speak to logic first. They speak to something older, something that learned how to survive, adapt, and move through the world long before you were aware of it. You find yourself standing in a clean, modern space. The air feels still, controlled, intentional. Light reflects softly off smooth surfaces. There is no noise, no distraction, no urgency, just clarity. At the center of the room, 4 modern cars are positioned in perfect balance. They are not labeled. No names, no specifications, only form. 4 shapes, 4 energies. Each car carries a distinct presence. One feels sharp and forward-leaning, built for motion and precision. Another feels solid and grounded, wide and protective. A third carries tension and power, as if it's holding something back. And the fourth feels open, fluid, almost effortless. This is not about preference, it is about recognition. Design speaks to the unconscious. Jung believed that the forms were drawn to reveal the inner strategies shaping our decisions, how we move towards safety, control, freedom, or intensity. The shape that pulls you in reflects where your energy is concentrated right now. So don't rush. Let your eyes move naturally. Which shape holds your attention without explanation? And if one feels strangely familiar, ask yourself why it stayed. Shape 1 stands low and streamlined. Its lines are sharp, intentional, aerodynamic. Everything about it suggests direction. Speed without chaos. Precision without hesitation. If this shape drew you in, your inner world values control through clarity. You are someone who moves through life with purpose. You don't like wasted motion, emotional or practical. You plan, you anticipate, you think ahead. Where others react, you prepare. This doesn't mean you lack feeling. It means you learned early that structure creates safety. Your strength is focus. You know where you're going, or at least how to move forward when others stall. You are efficient, decisive, and often relied upon in moments that require calm under pressure. When things become unclear, you sharpen your attention rather than retreat. In relationships, this shows up as reliability. You don't express care through dramatic emotion. You show it through action, through consistency, through being present when it matters. People trust you because your behavior aligns with your words, but every strength carries a cost. This shape also reflects a discomfort with uncertainty. You may struggle when situations cannot be planned or predicted. Emotional unpredictability can feel destabilizing. You may appear confident while quietly avoiding vulnerability, not because you don't feel deeply, but because feeling without control once felt unsafe. If this shape resonated, ask yourself this: where am I prioritizing control over connection? Growth for you is not about abandoning structure. It's about softening it, allowing moments where direction pauses, where feeling leads instead of planning. Precision is powerful, but flexibility deepens it. Now let your attention shift again. Shape 2 feels different immediately, wider, heavier, more grounded. Its form suggests protection rather than speed, stability rather than movement. If this shape drew you in, your inner world values safety through presence. You are someone who holds space. Others feel anchored around you. You offer steadiness in environments that feel unstable. You don't rush decisions. You assess weight, impact, and consequence. This makes you dependable, not flashy, but deeply trusted. Your strength is containment. You absorb pressure without collapsing. You protect what matters to you. In relationships, you are loyal, patient, and consistent. You don't give your trust easily, but when you do, it's solid. But this shape also reveals a shadow. You may carry more than you show. You may stay in situations longer than you should because responsibility feels heavier than desire. Movement can feel risky. Change can feel like loss. And so, stability quietly turns into resistance. If this shape spoke to you, consider this: Where am I holding on because it feels safe, not because it feels alive? Growth for you is not about becoming reckless. It's about allowing motion without fearing collapse. Safety doesn't disappear when you move. Sometimes it expands. These first two shapes reveal very different inner strategies. One moves forward through clarity. The other holds ground through stability. Neither is right. Neither is permanent. They simply show where your energy is resting now. And before we explore the remaining shapes, ask yourself one last question. What does my choice say about what I need in this phase of my life? In the next part, we'll turn toward the remaining forms and the deeper truths they reveal about power, freedom, and transformation. The space remains unchanged. The light still reflects softly. The room stays quiet. But your attention continues to move. After noticing the first two shapes, something else begins to pull at you, not loudly, not urgently, but with a deeper gravity. Two shapes remain. Both carry tension in different ways. Both feel less obvious yet more revealing. And if one of them feels heavier, more charged, ask yourself why. Shape 3 holds intensity. Its form feels compressed, powerful, almost restrained. There is strength here, but it doesn't rush forward. It feels as if motion is being held back intentionally, waiting for the right moment. This shape does not seek comfort. It seeks truth. If this shape drew you in, your inner world is undergoing transformation. You are not avoiding difficulty. You are moving through it. This choice often reflects a person who has outgrown old structures. Beliefs that once made sense now feel limiting. Roles that once defined you no longer fit. You may feel internally conflicted, not lost, but unsettled, as if something inside you is being dismantled and rebuilt at the same time. Your strength is resilience. You have learned to endure pressure without collapsing. You face discomfort directly rather than escaping it. While others distract themselves, you reflect. While others seek certainty, you question it. Growth, for you, has never been shallow. But this depth carries weight. You may be hard on yourself. You may believe that growth must always involve struggle. That ease is something to earn later. Rest can feel undeserved. And isolation can creep in quietly when others don't understand the path you're walking. If this shape resonated, ask yourself this: am I transforming, or am I punishing myself in the name of growth? Because intensity without compassion becomes exhaustion. This shape is not asking you to abandon strength. It is asking you to soften it. Transformation is not about breaking yourself down. It is about allowing something truer to emerge. Now let your attention shift once more. Shape 4 feels different immediately. Its lines are fluid, open, less defined. It doesn't impose direction. It invites movement. There is ease here, not emptiness, but openness. A sense that motion can happen without force. If this shape pulled you in, your inner world is seeking freedom. Not rebellion, freedom. You may feel constrained by expectations, routines, or roles that once provided structure, but now feel restrictive. You are not necessarily unhappy. You feel limited. And that feeling matters. Your strength is adaptability. You trust your ability to adjust rather than control. You are curious, flexible, and open to change. You understand that identity is not fixed. It evolves through experience. This makes you inventive, perceptive, and often ahead of emotional shifts before others notice them. But freedom has its own shadow. Without grounding, openness can turn into drifting. Movement can become avoidance. You may resist commitment not because it is wrong, but because it feels like a loss of autonomy. If this shape resonated, consider this: am I moving towards something meaningful, or simply away from what feels confining? Because freedom without intention becomes emptiness. This shape does not ask you to settle prematurely. It asks you to choose consciously. Now step back. Look at all 4 shapes together. Each one reflects a different inner strategy: clarity, stability, transformation, freedom. None of them define you permanently. They reveal where your energy is concentrated right now. At another time in your life, a different shape may have spoken louder. And that is not inconsistency, it is evolution. Often we believe our choices define us. In reality, they reveal us. They show what we are carrying quietly, what we are resisting, and what we are ready to explore. Awareness does not demand immediate change. It creates space. And in that space, growth happens naturally. So ask yourself one final question. What does my choice say about what I need most in this phase of my life? Because the shape did not call you randomly. It recognized something already alive within you. If something in this reflection stayed with you, even quietly, don't move past it too quickly. Real insight doesn't shout. It lingers, asking to be felt before it's understood. You're welcome to share which shape resonated with you. Not to justify it, not to analyze it, simply to acknowledge it. Sometimes naming a truth is the first step toward living it more honestly. If you value content that respects depth, self-awareness, and real psychological reflection, consider subscribing. Not for quick answers, but for continuity, for ongoing moments of clarity that help you understand yourself over time. Because growth isn't about changing who you are, it's about understanding yourself well enough to choose with intention. And that understanding begins the moment you listen, the way you just did.